Hello everybody, back at the studio, and I just wanted to go over a couple of Zach Hill licks. We'll think of these as a couple of like rudiments almost. So one of the concepts basically is sort of like an inverted diddle, where we would resolve the diddle on the downbeat. So what I mean by that is, as opposed to playing like that, we would play. Okay, so let's put that in the construct of like a 5-stroke roll, and we'll end with the 4/5 on the bass drum. So I'm going to play it like this. Be like this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can use that to create some interesting feels within the framework of a beat by putting that diddle on the bass drum in different spots. You can just lead into the downbeat, which Zach does quite a bit, kind of like this. 2, 3, 4. Pretty rough shit there, you know, but the idea is basically that you're doing ba-dump, leading into the beat, a-1, however you want to think of it. If you listen to Legs on Earth, a lot of their stuff, very primacy sounding, very heavily used in that kind of thing, as well as a lot of the Hella stuff. Sometimes Zach will play the 5 beats like this. Snare on the 4th beat along with the bass drum. So that's one concept that works really well, and you can do it different ways. You could leave the snare out altogether. So that's one thing that works really well. Zach uses a lot. The next would be a kind of like a 7 almost, basically a 6-tuplet. Zach does a lot of 6-tuplet phrasing, and gives it a very nice feel when he's playing his beats. So this is a phrase from, excuse me, from Republic of Rough and Ready, and it was one of the first Zach Hill beats I really got into. It has a very nice rolling feel around the drums. So this is kind of like in the bridge section or something like that. Basically it goes like this. So basically what I'm doing is I'm doing the 1st and the 6th beat on the bass drum, and then my right hand just goes from the cymbal down to the floor tom. So my right hand right footer is doing that the whole time. Okay, we can add the snare drum on the well, maybe you could feel it like a backbeat. Pretty funky like that, but we're going to put the 2nd beat on the rack tom. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To do the Republic of Rough and Ready beat, you just move your left hand from the rack tom to the snare, and then from the snare to the rack tom. The left hand's only playing the 2nd and 4th beats. times Zach will play the second and third beat on the snare drum. So I'll do a few phrases like I've already shown you, and then I'll play the second and third beat on the snare drum also. So like this. So that's a very fun Zach Hill beat. Again, it's this idea of playing a diddle on the bass drum, 2 beats pretty much, and putting the resolution on the downbeat. So resolving your beat on the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really gives a weighty feeling that you don't get otherwise. Now, there's other ways that he phrases these riffs, but that's a very common one that he uses, leading into that downbeat with the 2 bass drum strokes. So again, your right hand's playing a cymbal beat with the bass drum, 2 floor tom notes. Slot there at the end. Anyway, so that's a very good one as well. Basically a 5-stroke roll, essentially. That kind of emotion, which is also sort of a within the concept of like a 3. Zach plays a lot of 3s, and then like a sextuplet, or a you could think of it as a 7-stroke roll if you want to, leading into the next beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Either way you want to think of it, doesn't really matter. One other phrase that he uses a lot, sextuplet wise, is a crossover pattern on the hi-hat. And it goes like this. Right? You can hear that on, I think it's like Tick On, maybe he uses that on Astrological Straits, as well as some of just the old Hella stuff uses that a lot as well. This particular rhythm is really funky. I like it. It reminds me of Ave drumming, where they're using an instrument like this, the kagon, and when they use this one, basically they're playing the 2/3 of a triplet on the kagon. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Gives it a very off-kilter kind of feel, because you're hearing these loud snare beats or loud high-pitched kagon beats on the upbeats, and you're actually kind of leaving out the downbeats, the one of those triplet feels. So again, if you're thinking ba-da-da, 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 ba-da-da. So that's a very fun one I like also. Now, one of the very first Zach Hill things that I tried to learn how to do is a bass drum lick that he uses all the time. Very reminiscent of John Bonham. And so this one is basically you're playing the rhythm ba 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 on the kick drum. 1 and E and, kind of like that. A lot of times we'll use it as like a halftime kind of thing. Right? So make sure you get those clean in there. A lot of times it's easier for me if I'm playing like a quarter note kind of thing. Like that, but very familiar Zach Hill phrase. If you're listening to Hella, any of his Hella albums, and you'll really hear that one used a lot. So that's a very common phrase. So we went over the sort of like a 5-stroke roll, the sextuplet beat, and then this sort of a sextuplet phrasing across the hi-hat like that. Some people kind of they think it sounds sort of like a almost like a Steve Gadd sort of thing. And Zach Hill, I don't know if he's a big Steve Gadd fan. It does sound kind of reminiscent of that stuff, but he's a very powerful player. And a lot of times when you think he might be using a double stroke, he's just beasting out these singles. Okay. One other connection I wanted to point out with the sort of resolving that bass drum double on the downbeat is Elvin Jones. Man, I know Zach's mentioned Elvin Jones as being an influence, and Elvin would do a phrase like this a lot of times. So again, you're playing. Resolving that downbeat on the one, kind of like an inverted double stroke sort of a thing. One other 5-stroke pattern that you can use that moves the bass drum around is to play the 1 and the 4 on the floor tom, and the 2, 3, and the 5 on the kick drum. Sorry. Or you can end it on the snare drum. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. If I'm fucking anything up too badly, holler at me and let me know what you think is going on with Zach's beats. Always working to get those doubles nice and clean, like Zach has. Just such a powerful player. I hope more people really give him the notoriety that he deserves. And that's all. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it. And if there's anything else you want me to try and break down of his, then let me know. There's a few things I want to do coming up with Zach, just as far as his kind of overall approach and aesthetic with the kid and things. But that's for another video. So anyways, peace out.